Here's how this switch works, and please watch this section of the video because it's important. It's for the safety of the car, and it's a bit tricky with this thing. It needs to be adjusted when you place it back in car and also when you remove it. The way it goes is that first of all you have this sleeve, and you notice at this point the tabs that secure it to the bracket, metal bracket above the pedal are this one here. You can depress it, and this one it's on the top, one it's at the bottom. And you notice at this point the sleeve here, it's so retracted, there's no problem depressing those tabs. When you are first trying to remove it, the sleeve here will be in a more or less closed position, and it stops, it prevents, yeah, sure, it prevents those tabs from depressing and being clipped in the bracket. If you pull on it, it won't do anything. If you force and keep forcing, you will just break those little tabs. And when the, yeah, I'm sure you understand. And when those little tabs are broken, the switch won't keep staying in position when you put it back in place. So you have to throw it away and get a new one. You cannot just leave the switch there if those tabs are broken, and they will break because the bracket around it's metal. The metal won't bend a little bit to let them out, so it will break. Don't take any chance. So you'll need a new switch. Maybe you can get one from Breakers, from a scrapyard if you need. So this is why it's really important to have, when you remove it first, to have this jacket, this sleeve fully retracted. Now it's tricky. Let me show you why. The whole this thing works. It has two adjustments. Actually, it has just one adjustment, but let's just say this sits inside the car, and there's a bracket around here. It's properly secured. This switch will be always pushed like this when you don't brake. So the brake pedal always stays against the pin, against the switch. This is how it was. When you depress the pedal, it will release it, and that's the on position. The lights at the rear of the car will go off. So now you have the braking lights on, right? And then you release the pedal, it pushes back here, and the lights at the rear car shut off. No lights. This is how it goes with the pedal. But there is one more thing with this switch, with this whole unit, is that in the car, when the pedal is released in this position, not all pedals are at the same position. So actually for that, this little part here needs to be adjustable. So you will have perhaps a pedal brakes that sits lower when you don't push on it. It sits lower, and at that point this switch must adjust because it will stay open. So for that, this is how it works. You look at this part of the switch, and actually this part will extend, and when it extends, the size here will change. So you see, this is a position when this is longer here, and now the switch got much shorter. So on each car, this is going to be different. This part will be different on your car. This is very, very important because you have to put this this extension here. When you put back the switch, should be at the same place. You really need to check the switch it's working properly when you put it back together. But when you first remove it, if it sits like this, let's just say it sits like this inside the car, you have the bracket here, you see the sleeve won't fully retract. You cannot undo the tabs at this point by any means. So actually what you have to do when this thing is in the car, first you may disconnect it, push this thing out, depress the brake pedal, keep it depressed with one hand. It's a bit tricky, but you can do it with two hands. Keep the pedal depressed the most you can, make a gap here, and then with the other hand push this thing. Let me show. The sleeve will stay like this. With the other hand push this thing all the way back, just like that. Okay, it's still secured in the bracket at this point. Then you grab the sleeve here, the pedal is still depressed, grab the sleeve and pull it all the way out. You should see this gap here. If you don't see it, you won't be able to depress the tabs. And while keeping the pedal depressed, just swing this thing. Be careful not to damage the switch. Swing it on one side, it will pop up really easily. Okay, and then you release the pedal. When you put it back in place, you have it closed like this. When you put it back in place exactly like this. So grab it, don't attach the connector yet, get it inside the bracket here. It will clip because the sleeve is released. And okay, so when you put it back in the bracket, keep the pedal depressed as much as you can. Depress it fully and then insert the thing in this exact position. This is closed, this is fully extended. So keep the pedal depressed, make as much space here possible, and then push this thing into the bracket to lock the those tabs. And then when you release the pedal, you will notice two things. First, the sleeve will retract, but also this thing will extend, and the switch here will also retract. So let's say this is the pedal. When you got this thing, clip it in place, you will see that when you release the pedal, it will do something like this. More or less. And at that point, it should be secured in place. This is, you will leave this like this. You will leave it like this, don't touch this, and this switch should be at that moment can I talk please? This switch should be self-adjusted to the pedal to be in the closed position. Hopefully I'm clear enough. So then you just attach the connector here, so you don't touch to this, it will stay like that inside the car. Okay, just make sure, by all means, test your brakes. So depress the pedal, see if the lights go off at the rear of the car, release the pedal, see if the lights shut off at the rear of the car, right? So this will be probably the position of your pedal in the car. So it should stay like this when the pedal is not depressed, and you should, with a small depression of the pedal, a little travel, you should see this switch releasing and not touching the pedal. Okay, so this is how it was. Think about it a little bit. Hopefully I did explain more or less clearly. And also when you leave it inside the car, make sure the sleeve here is fully retracted. It should be, but it depends on the length. Let's say if your pedal sits like this, make sure this thing is fully retracted like that. Okay, sorry about the length, it's about 10 minutes explaining, but it's an important part. It's really safe. And again, I repeat myself, if you break it here, replace the switch right away. It won't stay there. It's not safe. Good luck. Final word, with the risk of repeating myself. When you remove it from the bracket, do not leave the connector here, because it will drain the battery. The light will stay on at the rear of the car. And you may want actually to disconnect the whole car battery. So I'm not sure if it gives an SRS message or not, but don't take a chance, disconnect the car battery.